The new channel. See the new. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the new channel, here to help you see the new you. Live streaming from Tennessee, this is Dr. Mike Chua.
This is Bert live from Texas, and this is iBusiness.
And iBusiness. Come. All right. Good evening, Tennessee, and good morning, Philippines. Again, this is Dr. Mike Chua. I am your alternative career coach, and I have my co-host for tonight. Again, tonight, every night.
Can you hear me?
Bert Rivera.
Can you hear me or no?
I can hear you, Bert.
All right, great. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of iBusiness Show. And we're going to have a great guest tonight.
Well, where did Bert go? So again, it's me again, Dr. Mike Chua, your alternative career coach. Well, anyway, before we keep going, while we're waiting for Bert, I just would like to give a shout out to Suzanne Grace. If you're watching live, again, comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay. And of course, before we keep going, I want to hear you. I want to see you put down what city are you in, and obviously what country are you at, and that way we would know where you really are. You know, we want to know. For example, like me, Martin, Tennessee, we're in a very big city here in Martin, Tennessee. And of course, I also want to give a shout out to Miss Mary Giaratano. Miss Mary, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you. Again, we're still waiting for Bert. I think he got lost in the middle of nowhere in Texas because everything is big in Texas, right? Everything is big in Texas. Well, anyway, today we have a very special guest. But before I put in our very special guest, I want to just give a shout out to Bon Alhambra. He is in New York. Gosh, where in Bon? Thank you very much for watching. You are there in New York. I hope you are all safe there, safe and sound. Make sure to follow all the precautions and the stuff that needs to be taken care of. There you go. I got my co-host back. What happened there, Bert? Bert, are you still there? I think Bert is still figuring out the internet and computer, right? So, but before we keep going, Ashleia. I know Ashleia. She is one of our group that we call Smart Success Healthcare. Thank you very much for watching, Ashleia. Appreciate you. Bert, are you back? Are you there, Bert? I don't think Bert can hear me. Well, anyway, while we're waiting for Bert to log in, I can see his face there because everything is big in Texas except for her. Are you there now? Do you hear me now, Bert? He's laughing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Now I can hear you. Okay, great.
There you go. There you go. All right. So what happened there?
I don't know.
You know, the technology, right? Technology. I feel like I'm taller than you, but in reality, I'm shorter than you, right? Well, anyway, we're also how's everything there in Texas? Everything doing good?
Everything is great. You know, everybody's healthy, so it's all good. Business is busy, so all good.
That's good. That's good. Well, we just had our power. There's a big storm going through right now here in Tennessee, so hopefully our power doesn't go down. But earlier it went down. But any special news for us today, Bert?
So far, I can't think of any except for still ongoing spike in coronavirus cases. So I just want to remind everyone to be careful. Wear your gloves if you're in the healthcare field. Wear your mask, not just for the sake of others, but for yourself also. Make sure that you're following the protocol. Okay, so that's just a quick reminder there.
Quick reminder to always follow the protocols, wearing your mask and everything like that, especially going to the public. It's not a political thing. It's just protecting you and protecting that person right beside you. Okay, well, I just want to give a shout out to Miss Jen A. Rosario. Thank you very much. You have a blessed day too. Mr. Russell Porras. He needs to come here in our show, right, Bert? Because he's a therapist here based in where is he at? Where is he at, Mr. Russell? I forgot where you at, Mr. Russell. But
he's in Indiana.
Indiana, there you go, Indiana. Thank you very much, Mr. Russell, for watching our show. Well, anyway, before we keep going, what are you drinking then, Bert? Are you drinking coffee?
Got my coffee, buddy.
Coffee? Oh, I got my cup here. Coffee at night? What time is it there?
She only drinks coffee at midnight. You know that song?
All right. Well, without further ado, let me just read our special guest. Our guest today is actually a friend of mine. I met him in our what you call mastermind group. We're in like what I always say, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So whoever you hang out with, that's going to be you, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be you. So before I wanted to be an author, I researched a group of people who are actually authors. So I went and found an author. His name is Dan Miller, and I met this good person. His name is Ryan Reger. So without keep on going, I just would like to introduce him. It says here, by God's grace, Ryan has built a thriving online business with multiple streams of income. Remember that, multiple streams of income, ranging from selling physical products to a variety of books. Spell that, ladies and gentlemen, variety of books and courses on the topic of starting and growing an online business. Hey, this is the perfect time for you to start your own online business, ladies and gentlemen. So Ryan's passion is to help people discover their gifts and talents and use them to fulfill their purpose in life. Guess what? That's what you want to do. That's what you want to. That's what you want to start with. Find that passion, finding that purpose. So that's the reason for his book called Multiple Streams of Income. So Ryan, again, is happily married to his wife, Melanie, and is a proud father to his son, Kellen. They reside now in South Lake, Texas. You guys got to check out Ryan Reger, RyanReger.com for more information and resources. Again, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's learn. Let's learn from the expert who's actually doing it and making lots and lots of money when it comes to online business courses and a lot more. Again, Ryan Reger, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
While we're waiting for Ryan, we want to give a shout out to Leonard Cleophas watching from Quezon City in the Philippines. Thank you very much. Leonard, Leo na lang, Leo. Thank you very much for watching in Quezon City. I know Tiffany Lasco Lester. She is watching. So again, we are just waiting from Jen Rosario watching from Pampanga. Thank you very much for watching, Jen. Thank you very much for watching. We are waiting for Ryan. He said he's still in the backstage. We got a fancy setup here. Going to the backstage, right? Going to the backstage. So we got the backstage. Somebody saying I'm here in Tennessee. Bert is in Texas. So there you go. All right, so you're in the show. There you go.
Hey,
There
there we
you
go.
go.
Hey!
We got it working. We got it working. There you go. The technology nowadays is just amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine you are in the Philippines, watching us in the Philippines, and I'm here in Tennessee, and then Bert is in Texas, Ryan is in Texas. You know, guys, ladies and gentlemen, you know who's operating this system right now? People in the Makati, Philippines.
That's awesome.
Imagine how this technology has evolved, and it's just amazing. And
Yeah.
if we can do it remotely, what more for you, ladies and gentlemen? And this is what Ryan is going to teach us today. I know he's very busy. Yes, he's got this radio show, and I was just seeing him earlier in another webinar. I know he's very busy, but Ryan, thank you very much. I appreciate you for coming over.
You're welcome. Should I say Mike or Dr. Chua? What should I say?
Just call me Mike. You know
Just
me.
Mike. Okay. My pleasure. Thanks, guys, for having me on. Bert, thanks for having me on. This is fun. I love doing this type of stuff, especially broadcasting in the Philippines. That's super cool because I have a lot of friends in the Philippines. I have some VAs. I mean, they're virtual assistants of mine, but they're actually, a lot of them become my friends. And I got to meet two of them. I brought them over to the US back in October. So got to meet them in person. It was super cool, and got to introduce one of my friends to Chick-fil-A. So that was awesome.
Finally, man. Can't beat Chick-fil-A, right?
You know what? I want to go to the Philippines because I want to try lechon.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Well, Ryan, I know. First of all, thank you very much for coming over. Second, thank you very much for supporting our local businesses back home.
Yeah.
I also have a team of VAs in the Philippines, and they really, really appreciate us. Us actually providing an employment for those people there in the Philippines. So, thank you very much, man, for doing this for us and for my fellow countrymen. And maybe someday we can, collaborate and stuff like that. But
sure.
Bert, Bert is our question guy, so he's going to ask you some question, Ryan.
Let's do it.
Well, Ryan, thanks again for joining us. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we lost you there for a moment. It reminded me of the movie Saving Private Ryan, but here's Private Ryan. So anyways, we want to hear your story. That's why we do this show at iBusiness. We want to know what made you start your business, what your why and all that stuff. But before we deep dive into that, tell us a little bit about your background. How did you come up with, being a businessman? And has this been always your thing, or tell us your background?
Sure. I've only been in business for myself since about 2008. But before that, I followed a guy named Jim Cockrum online. He's you'd say an Amazon guru. He'd hate that word, but essentially he's teaches people how to make money online. So started in about 2002 or 3, following him, getting on his email list. Just really got the entrepreneurial bug and knew that one day I would have my own business. And so I was in politics, actually, and worked for a congressman in Indiana for 7 years, and then ran a political campaign in Southern Indiana. In 2008, we lost that campaign. So then I moved to Texas, and been here since then. We started selling furniture on Craigslist, which is just a local marketplace here. And that was because that was my lowest hanging fruit. That was the easiest opportunity because my wife and mother-in-law had already started that business. They were doing it very part-time. So when I moved here, I did look for a job, but my passion, my heart was really to have my own business. The Lord blessed that business. And in 2009, we'd sold $250,000 worth of furniture just on Craigslist, just on the Dallas-Fort Worth area here. Quickly expanded to Amazon and eBay. We sold smaller items on Amazon too, using their fulfillment program. And then I found my passion in 2013 of essentially helping other people do the same thing. I wrote my first book then, and since then have been teaching other people how to build streams of income. And most recent book is more broad and it's actually called Streams of Income. And I love helping people create multiple streams. That's really what it's all about. I teach people especially how to start with physical products, not necessarily have to start there, but that's a very easy place to start. And then branch off out of that and create multiple streams, because you don't want to be stuck with just one, because at any time something can happen. And so I would say for a long time, I've had a business mind, wanted to do business, but only been doing it for about 12 years now.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. But before we keep asking Ryan, I just want to give a shout out to Gina. She said, good day. And it gives us a lot of knowledge on how to make our life progress, and always watching from Las Piñas City. I'm actually from Las Piñas, Gina. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate that. I am from, you know where Pulang Lupa is? I'm Pulang Lupa. I'm from there. So, gosh, Ryan, we're just reminiscing, stuff
That's
back.
awesome. Where in the country is Las Piñas?
It's in Manila, actually.
Okay.
The southern part of Manila. So, where are your VAs from?
I think so. Leonard is Quezon City. I'm pretty sure that's where my main 2 VAs are in Quezon City. Is that a suburb of Manila?
It's actually kind of part of Manila.
Okay,
part
I'm pretty sure that's their name. Zach and Rain are their names. I'm pretty sure it's if I'm pronouncing that right, Quezon City is where they're from.
Yep. Quezon City, but we pronounce it Quezon.
Quezon.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Brian. Thank you very much, Gina, for watching. Appreciate you. If you can share this live stream, we would really appreciate that. Share and subscribe. The more shares, the better, right? Well, anyway, Ryan, you mentioned about going into the business and you being a government, what you call this, political person, and you transitioned to business. So you mentioned following somebody, right? You mentioned Jim Cockrum, and without Ryan, ladies and gentlemen, my wife wouldn't be doing her business too. So, ladies and gentlemen, what my wife does, she goes online and bids online, and Bert knows this. She would bid online on online, obviously eBay or whatever, and she would buy those truckloads. And we just had 4 pallets of products here right now in our garage. If you're going to look at it, it's just a mess right now. But my wife learned this from watching Ryan's process, his method of starting your own online business, whether it's a physical product, a book, or whatever. So thank you, Ryan, for doing that. And Bert, you want to ask more questions? I got lots of questions. So.
I got tons of questions, but I think our audience really want to know how to start, streams of income like Ryan does. And I'm pretty sure we're going to do a deep dive on that, like I said. But before we go into the details of each streams of income, maybe we can tell them in advance, how many streams of income do you think we can tackle tonight? Because I'm sure there's quite a few, right? So, Mike, do you think we can have Ryan talk about Amazon FBA, writing a book? What else?
He's got a lot of streams of income, and that's actually what I follow, his method. So, Ryan, you want to talk about at least whatever you want?
Sure. I mean, in the book, I talk about 3 main. I mean, you guys know there's probably 100. Probably 100,000 probably different ways to make money online, honestly. But they all, in my mind, come down to 3 main foundational strategies, which are, number 1, selling physical products. That could be like how we started with Craigslist. It could be like Facebook Marketplace. It could be Amazon. It could be eBay. There's Rakuten. There's all these other Amazon type sites all over the world. So that's 1. Then number 2 is you're creating income off of something you're passionate about, something that you're knowledgeable about. That could be in the form of writing a book, creating a course, launching a podcast, a radio show, a TV show like what you guys are doing, turning that into mastermind groups, live events, just that knowledge that you have, something that you're interested in or passionate about, turning that into an income. And then the third one is coaching and consulting. And so I think those are the 3 foundational ways. And so happy to dig into any of those. But yeah, you just start somewhere. And when people come to me and say, how do I start making money online? There's so many different options, but literally one of the lowest hanging fruit opportunities is selling physical products, because we all have items sitting around our house that we're not using that somebody else would love to have and would gladly pay us to take those. And so that's one easy way to get started, is look around your home. What do you have sitting here that you don't need anymore that somebody else would love to have? throw it up on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. Or if you're in the Philippines, I don't know what those local platforms are, but I know you have them, because I know some of my VAs are doing what we call arbitrage, where they have stuff that they were able to buy low and sell higher on any platform. It doesn't have to be an Amazon type of thing. It could be a local pickup type of platform where people are shopping. But literally look right underneath your nose. What do you have? We all have books behind us. Mike, you don't have as many books behind you as I do, but like I could probably grab some books out here that I might never read, that somebody else would gladly have and pay me a few bucks for them. That's an easy way to raise some money. Doesn't cost you anything. And then you can invest that into newer products, other products, and start building, a physical product business. But that's just one method, but it's one of the easiest ones to start with, because you don't have to have any specialized skill. You don't have to think about writing a book or creating a course. You literally can say, you know what, I don't need that anymore. Let's take it and see who wants it and who will give me 20 bucks for it.
Perfect. I love what you mentioned about if I don't have a book here because I already sold it, because that's what Ryan told me before.
Right.
We're going to sell those books, Michael. So
exactly.
All this stuff here is new stuff my wife bought for our show. But I really love what Ryan is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay, ladies and gentlemen, because this is very interesting. This is where I actually learn. I actually learned from Ryan and all the stuff that he's doing. First, he said, sell physical products. Perfect example. Obviously, my wife, aside from my wife, she's perfect, right? I said, my sister back home in the Philippines, she has a store, not a physical store, but an online store. Her online store is called Mom and Millie. Basically, she used to buy stuff from China and bring it here in the Philippines.
Yes.
And then she would resell it. Now she's got people who drives motorcycle and then delivers it to different houses. That's what she's been doing there in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And if she can do it there, you guys can do it too. All you need to do is follow Ryan's method. Go check out his website, ryanreger.com, RyanReger.com. Very simple. Very simple. But before we go to the next question, Bert, I just want to give a shout out to Mr. Ryan Russell here.
Yeah.
He says, so Ryan used to be a Hoosier. What's that?
A Hoosier. That's what we call people who live in Indiana. Hoosiers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Have you never seen the movie Hoosiers, the best basketball movie ever made?
I guess, yeah. I got to Google that later, right?
Yeah, Russell, great to see you here. Yeah, I know exactly where Sellersburg is. I'm from Pendleton, which is 30 minutes northeast of Indianapolis. But I know Sellersburg's in southern Indiana, and I know exactly where you are.
Oh, wow. What a small world. What a small world. Bert, do you want to ask the next question, sir?
Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and do a deep dive, okay? Because I know a lot of people are wondering, how in the world do you do business with Amazon, okay? Because Amazon is very familiar. I don't know of any person that doesn't know about Amazon, right? It just grew into this gigantic business company grown by Jeff Bezos. So for someone, average person, like you said, who has stuff laying around, is that something they can sell on Amazon, or are they supposed to know a bunch of rules and regulations, from Amazon before they can do something like that? And then there's also another business which is called, I'm sure you know this, FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon. So maybe you can talk about those.
Sure. Yeah. So Amazon is a little bit, it's not quite as easy as selling something on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or even eBay. There are certain products like, sometimes Nike shoes might be restricted. So if you start a brand new Amazon account, a seller's account, there are certain products that as a new seller, you would not be able to sell. You might not be able to sell Under Armour clothing. There's certain brands that you're restricted from. But let's forget about that for a second. For the most part, Amazon is going to be for brand new in the package type of items. However, you guys all know Amazon started with a book. So if you have used books sitting around, you can certainly sell used books on Amazon. I know people that sell used board games on Amazon. You just want to make sure all the pieces are there. If you can't find all the pieces, go on to eBay and look for replacement parts and replacement pieces and put it together and make it a complete thing. But for the most part, Amazon is brand new. And then eBay and those other platforms would be for gently used stuff. Items like that. So at Amazon, it's not hard to get started. You can literally do this from anywhere in the world. So you guys could be in the Philippines, set up an Amazon.com account. There's also Amazon in the UK, and there's Amazon platforms emerging all over the world. You could do this even remotely. And before, instead of going, I don't know how to get too deep in the weeds here on you, Bert, but essentially there's a couple different types of arbitrage. One is like you might go into a store, you might send stuff in from your house that they're sitting around and have it stored in Amazon's warehouse where you're actually sending it to Amazon, or you're sourcing it, on your own. The other option would be doing online arbitrage. So like if you live in the Philippines and you wanted to sell on Amazon.com, for example, you could purchase a product on Walmart.com, have it sent to a prep center that is like an intermediary center that would prep it for Amazon and then send it to an Amazon warehouse. And then when it sells, you would get paid for it. I know people have students all over the world that do that model where they never even touch the inventory. It's literally going from an online store to a prep center and then to an Amazon warehouse and you mentioned FBA, that's where Amazon will receive it, they'll store it, and when it's sold, they will pack it up, ship it to a customer, and then pay you your portion minus their fees. So that's kind of in a nutshell the Amazon side of it. But if we have a lot of folks that do garage sales and estate sales and thrift stores. Most of that stuff is going to be better suited for eBay. And on eBay, there's a whole lot less rules, regulations. There are a lot more right now anyway, more seller friendly. And so there's not the restrictions. You can sell anything. There's not brand restrictions. If you have a Nike shoe that's older and you want to get rid of it, you can literally put that on eBay. That's not going to be an issue. You can put it on Facebook Marketplace. There's no restrictions like that. So in a sense, eBay and those other marketplaces are easier, but also Amazon, you have to realize they have all the eyeballs. Everybody here in the States shops on Amazon. So it just really depends on the type of inventory that you have and, what you're trying to accomplish.
Perfect. I don't know if you guys are listening. If you are still listening, please type in listening, because what he mentioned he said that you can operate this business from anywhere in the world. And I don't know if you were listening again. He mentioned you don't even have to touch your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to touch it. Right now, what my wife is doing, she would buy it, physically have it deliver here at home, put it in on eBay, put it in Facebook Marketplace. She's not doing Amazon. She has to do everything on her part. But what Ryan is explaining is that all you need to do on your part is actually order the stuff online, mm-hmm. have it delivered to a warehouse who prepares it, and then that person or that company preparing it will give it to Amazon, mm-hmm. and Amazon will deliver it to your customers.
Right.
Imagine that. It's just like the three of us here. Me, Ryan, and Bert. Basically, I go online. So I go order online. Okay, I'm ordering Ryan's book, Multiple Streams of Income. And I would tell, okay, deliver it to Bert in Texas. And Bert will say, okay, I got the book here. I'm going to deliver it to Ryan Reger, who's actually wanting to buy that book. Imagine that. I'm not even there. I didn't even touch that product right. Here. It's amazing that concept. My wife is still learning about, she bought the course from Jim forever, mm-hmm. but she's more comfortable doing the eBay thing in Marketplace. Yeah. So that's what she's effective with. And every person is different. And that's what the beauty of Ryan's program. It doesn't have to be one thing. You have to find which is specific for you or which is what you're passionate about and then go from it. In my case, what Ryan mentioned to me before, Michael, I mean, you can do this FBA. I said, do I really need to do Amazon? No.
Right.
Focus on what you really like, Michael. And I said, well, I like doing dementia. And that's what he told me. Or write a book. Mm-hmm. I wrote a book. And then he said, well, Michael, create a course. I created the course out of it. And that's what I do now. I teach people how to, be a better caregiver using my certified dementia practitioner course. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of Ryan Reger's program. You got to check his website out. Before we keep going, I just would like to give a shout out to Graciela. Graciela, thank you very much for watching. And Mr. Joffrey de la Cruz, he is in Chicago. I know he's in Chicago. And Miss Cho Lita Esplana, thank you very much again for watching, Miss Cho. And Bon Alhambra, he said, Philippines is a big market for online selling. That is so true. I got my first million in Philippine pesos when I was 20 years old selling products from Thailand.
Wow.
Now that I'm in the US, I want to continue online selling. But it's really hard to start because the market seems so saturated. Plus, the different state law. I hope you guys discuss how to start and how to stand out from other sellers. You got to reach out to Ryan Reger, Bon. Connect with him, go to his website, and then go from there. Bert.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Can you guys still hear me, or am I having some tech issues?
I can still hear you, sir.
Okay, great. So, Ryan, so that topic is really very interesting. You call it retail arbitrage, right? So where's Ryan? I don't see Ryan.
I'm here.
There you go. So it's amazing how you can order from one website and then send it to Amazon, and then they deliver it. If it's that simple, how come not everyone is doing it?
Well, it's hard work. I mean, it's still work. I mean, a lot of the folks that the process is simple. It's a simple business, but it takes work. And as you guys know, there's people that just don't. There probably are more people looking for passive ways to make money online, ways to just invest a little bit and see a huge return, or you want to get money overnight and become a millionaire overnight. This is not that plan. It's work. It's a process. You have to learn it. Literally anybody could do it, and you can do it with very, very, very little money. In fact, you can get started with $0 and build up a base of physical products. So I says, why is not everyone doing it? Probably because it just, they don't know about it. They don't know it's possible. Some people think that Amazon is just for books. Some people think that selling on Amazon, if we're talking about Amazon specifically, that Amazon's the only seller. They don't realize that third-party sellers like me and like Mike's wife can actually sell on that platform, which you can. So it's lack of knowledge. And then the other part would be like, well, that's just not something I know how to do, don't know how to learn it. Or it just seems like too much work. So I would say those are probably some of the reasons that people just don't do it. But it is work. It's not, starting out, you're going to have to learn it just like anything else. Just like you guys and you being professionals, you had to go through school and training. No way I could learn what you do and overnight and start, being a physical therapist and helping people out. That's not going to happen. You could train me, but probably over a series of months or years. That's a big hurdle. So
Ryan Reger will be a great therapist. So yeah. That's going to be easy for you, man. So you could probably write a book about it, right?
Right. Oh man, the easy way to become a therapist. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Multiple streams of income for a therapist.
Right.
Now, just to make sure, just a follow-up question for the benefit of our audience.
Yeah.
If someone wants to learn how to do this retail arbitrage, is there something or a platform they can go to, like a course that you're offering or something like that?
Yeah. So I have I have a course called Amazon 101. If you go to I have actually a special deal I can give folks. The website's Amazon101course.com. I think it's $297 there, but I've worked out a special deal with Jim Cockrum to be able to offer a special deal for folks. Probably the easiest thing would be maybe if you're wanting to go deeper in that and you actually want to take that specific course, just send me an email, ryan@ryanreger.com. I can get you that link and that discount code for it. All
right. So we're going to put that email there before we keep going. We're going to put that email there, ryan@ryanreger.com. I think we just have to put it down there. It's so hard to pronounce.
All right.
There you go. Bert?
Well, so we tackled Amazon. You talked about eBay, Craigslist, and all that. You think this business model is something that can be done full-time, where it will be someone's means of living?
Absolutely. Yeah, lots and lots of students in my community do it full-time. It can be. What's fun about it is a lot of times it's something that people do just to create some extra income, and they end up enjoying it and they get good at it, and they're like, "Wow, I actually could do this full-time if I could, just work a little bit more. If I was able to quit my job, I'd be able to make way more than my current job." We have folks that, as a side income, it already makes more than their day job and they just want that extra money, so they never quit. And then we have some that are like, they can't wait to get away from their regular job and end up quitting by selling physical products online. So absolutely, yes, it's very, very, very doable to make a full-time income selling physical products. I have students that do it all the time.
Speaking of very, very, very doable, right now we're going to get a quick commercial break. Again, thank you very much, Ryan. We're going to be back in a few minutes. Thank you.
All right, and we are back. All right, Mike. So your wife used to do Amazon, and then she stopped doing Amazon. Is that what you said?
Yeah, she's doing eBay and Marketplace now. She's doing.
Why did she
eBay.
stop doing Amazon? I'm curious.
It's so hard. There's so much regulation, and like what Ryan mentioned, you have to pack it in the right way. There's a certain what you call this. Basically, what my wife buys is those returns, also from Amazon, returns from different stores, and you cannot technically, there's rules there that you cannot resell it through Amazon, but you can resell it on eBay. Ryan can dive deep into that later when he comes back. But before we keep going, I just would like to give a shout out to Bon Burgos. He said, very timely topic for this. He is watching in behalf of Growth Wing Consultancy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching, Ron. And Greta Gretsch. That's a nice name. Greta Gretsch. I guess Greta Gretchen Barreto. Gretchen Barreto is actually my wife's she likes that actress. Gretchen Barreto is an actress, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right. Beautiful actress. And Carmine Ortega, one of our hosts in this show. Thank you very much.
Thank you
in
for
this
your support.
TV show,
Appreciate
TV stuff. All right, and then Teresa De Jesus. Good day watching in Carmona Estate, Lantic, Cavite. Yeah, I used to go there. I used to live in Las Piñas, so we go there in Cavite every now and then. Do you know where Cavite is, Bert?
Yeah. One of the PT schools in the Philippines is in Cavite. That's actually where we held one of those physical therapy sports, yearly sports event. What do you call that? PT Can?
PT Can.
PT Can, yeah.
PT Can. We have
yeah. We had it at De La Salle University in
right.
Yeah, in Cavite, De La Salle Cavite. That's where we did it one time. Yeah.
Where did you graduate in the Philippines, Bert?
I'm from Lyceum. Yeah.
Where?
Lyceum.
Oh, Lyceum.
Lyceum. Yeah.
Okay, Lyceum. You're speaking in slang. So, Lyceum, huh? What? Can you say that again? Did you grow up here? Well, Lyceum. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, let's bring
Welcome back,
our
Ryan.
guest back again. Ryan, again, Ryan. We just make fun of each other here because we're streaming in the Philippines, and it's just to tell the truth, it's so hard to speak English in front of a Filipino audience.
Why is that, Mike?
We have to speak English in front of a person who's like, is this person really talking real English, or are they just pretending they know how to speak English?
Right.
And at least we have an American guest right now, so we can pretend we know how to speak English. But what was the first episode we had? We had Joel Sabag. He's like a very good pianist, like a Filipino pianist, and it was just so hard for me talking to him in English because we're like pretending that we know how to speak English. You know what I mean? So. Well, anyway, before we bring Ryan back, or before we ask Ryan and Bert ask us the next question, Jen is saying here, the topic is very interesting. It will help me to promote and sell my Korean skincare, lower Lauren products, and e-loading business. There you go. There you go. So, all right, Bert, let's go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Ryan, we're going to do a deep dive on the other side.
Sure.
Okay, so we've talked about how this business can be really promising and all that. But here at iBusiness, we also talk about our failures. Okay, so if you can share with us your greatest failure in doing business and how did you overcome it?
Man, my greatest failure. Gosh, so many. When you
we all right.
you make mistakes all the time. Honestly, though, there's none of them have been major, like life-threatening. The beauty of an internet business, and I'll try to think of some examples to give you. The beauty of an internet business is that never along the whole time have I had to like go and take out all the money from my savings account and then hope that this was going to work. We teach starting with doing very small tests of things. So even in the physical product business, like Mike, you were talking about your wife and buying pallets. I doubt that you guys started buying 4 pallets at a time. We usually teach people like, let's try 2 or 3 of these items. Let's see if those sell. And then let's go and then buy 4 or 5 and then like buy 10 the next time. So if you had like $500 to start an online business, you would not spend $500 on one item. Be like, oh man, I hope this works, because if this doesn't, I can't eat tomorrow. It's spreading that $500 over several items, maybe 100 different items potentially, and just continuing to build it up. So all of my failures, I've had lots and lots of failures. They've all been really little. Because, and thankfully, I know there's people that, have had major setbacks. I had a real estate setback back in at the beginning of like 2003, 2004, 2005. After I moved to Texas, had some apartments that go under. And so that would be like that would be my most major business failure. But as far as since having an internet business, they've all been little things like, oh man, I spent $50 on that product and it didn't sell. Oh, great. Big deal. $50. Or I launched a course and 3 people signed up for it. That's not a big deal. The beauty of having an internet business is that you can test very small. And if it doesn't work, you just pivot and you change directions. If your physical product, you buy 3 of an item, it doesn't work, that's okay. You've got 500 other items that you did buy that are going to sell. So I've had lots of failures, but thankfully they've all been pretty small things. And I'm still making mistakes. I still mess up, but it's not like a mess up that's going to like destroy my whole business.
Love that.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Of course. Yeah.
So now I think we can move into another form of business, which is kind of in Mike's arena, which is books and being an author and all that. Mike, why don't you talk more about that? And then you can ask Ryan about books.
before I keep talking about that, I just would like to highlight what Ryan mentioned. He mentioned about learning how to pivot. If you're watching right now, type in pivot in the chat box or on whatever wherever you're watching. Type in pivot, pivoty, because that is the time for you to be able to turn. And that's what Carmine Ortega is also doing. She's teaching you how to make a U-turn. That's her show, U-turn, right? So you have to learn how to turn left or right or make a U-turn when you're actually encountering some challenges in life. And like what Ryan mentioned, it doesn't matter how many times you've failed. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen or got sick. What matters is how many times you get up and do this all over again. And that's the beauty of this business. What Ryan is offering is that you can continue to push on forward and learning from that previous mistakes. Guess what? My wife, when like what Ryan mentioned, she didn't start with buying truckloads. She started with what Ryan mentioned. Sell what we have here. When she learned and watched, Ryan's a webinar and all this silent gym, Amazon 101 stuff. My wife started, going to our what you call this cabinet, what you call closet. She was starting selling her clothes. I said, I'm still using that. I'm like, no, we're gonna put it in. And she's like, you've been using this for 10 years. Like, it's my favorite shirt. Who's gonna buy that? But apparently somebody bought it. Even old shoes.
Yeah.
She put it up there. I mean, I said, we need to clean it. No, we just have to put it in her store. So from there, she started with one flea market. There was a time she had 10 stores, 10 flea markets. Now it's down to, I think, 4 or 5 because, of COVID and everything. So she had just closed some of her stores, but still, she's still making money out of it. And right now she has like 4 pallets delivered today of assorted stuff from, I think, from Target, because that's what Ryan said. Go to, this website and do some bidding there. And then that's what she's doing. All right. But next question, Ryan. How can we make money with books and courses? Could you just give us like a little inspiration how we can start that?
Yeah, so it really comes down to what's your book going to be about? It first comes down to who your audience is, who you're trying to reach, who you're trying to serve. Your book is not going to be your book is not going to make you a lot of money unless you're somebody like Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, a famous author,
Ryan Reger, like that.
Yeah. You have to have a name. Most authors don't make anything. You write a book and you think, oh man, I'm going to be rich. That's not usually the way it is. My friend and mentor, Jim Cockrum, says your book is your business card. It kind of starts the relationship. So streams of income. Yeah, I've made a little bit of money on this. Most of the books I give away for free, even the hard copies. I make a tiny bit on Amazon. I mean, I say tiny. I've maybe made a few $100s on this book. Nothing compared to the time and energy it took into creating it. But what this does is starts the relationship where people are like, I want to learn more. What else does he have? Then people get into, some will then want to buy a course or go into coaching. So it starts the relationship. But thinking about how to make money from something that you're passionate about is who are you trying to serve? Go find out what they need. And instead of like saying, you know what, I want to write a book on this. Does the world even want that topic? I'm sure it does, but you got to find your audience. Go where they're at, hang out with them, learn from them, especially in like Facebook groups, for example. You can learn a ton from being involved in a Facebook group of folks that are in that, talking about that same niche that you're interested in, and start serving that audience, answer questions, and then you're going to see what they need. And you can come out with products, services to meet those needs because now you know exactly what the audience wants. So there's so many ways to take what you know and turn it into money real quick, like books, courses, mastermind events, live events in person when we get over this COVID thing, virtual conferences, one-on-one coaching. There's so many ways to leverage that knowledge and turn it into income.
I love that.
Awesome.
I love that.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys follow me. I mean, I know we're streaming this in the Philippines, but if you guys follow me in my realm, without Ryan's guidance and of course Mr. Dan Miller, shout out to Mr. Dan Miller. Without their guidance, I wouldn't be able to start my own group. I have actually two groups. We have two groups, me and Bert. First is what we call the Alternative Careers for Rehab Professional. Right now we have 21,000 members in that group. And
Wow.
inside that group, we sell our courses. I sell my Certified Dementia Practitioner CEU class, the Alzheimer's Disease and Dementia Care Seminar. It's basically a course that I teach because they need the CEU class.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. 21,000. I didn't created it. I didn't start that group, but I am part of the moderator team. Why? Because I provided that value there. And just like what Ryan was mentioning, find that niche, find that group, and serve that group, that you're providing that awesome value there, that that they see you as an expert. And eventually, like what happened to me, I became an administrator in that group. The second group that I have, because I provide Alzheimer's and dementia education, we have what you call Alzheimer's and Dementia Support Group. This is also Ryan and Dan Miller's idea. They said, go find a group that you can serve. And I said, okay, that's my niche, dementia. Guess what? You know how big our group is, ladies and gentlemen? 30,000 members in that group.
Wow.
And we have that Tuesday dementia training. Every Tuesday I go live. I just went live before this. We go live and I interview different dementia experts.
Wow.
And we sell our courses there too. So because of Ryan's program, so you got to check out his website. But before we keep going, Yolanda, good morning from the Philippines. Thank you very much for watching. Bert.
Yeah, we're approaching the end of our show. We got about 8 minutes left, guys. So I want to take this opportunity for Ryan to explain real quick, for someone who wants to start their own book and they have all these, mumbo jumbo of ideas in their head. Where do you suggest they start? What's the first thing they need to do besides knowing their audience and knowing, what they want to write about? So it's basically, if it's me and I know those stuff, next question is now what?
Yeah. So the way, and I don't know if I'm typical or if I have like the right way to write a book or anything, but what I typically do is, I have a blog, so it's easy. If you already have a blog, you already have a book probably already. You can just take that information and just organize it in a way that makes sense. But if you're kind of starting from scratch and you kind of think that, your knowledge is up here, but it's not on paper yet, then for what I typically do then is I will just start writing. If I'm inspired at a certain time, I kind of have to be in the groove. It's hard for me to sometimes, and maybe other people are easier, but for me, it's like, I can't say like, hey, I want to sit down and write. Usually for me, it's, I feel like the urge. I feel like, yeah, I'm inspired right now. So let's start just typing whatever is coming out of here. If you have an outline, that's even better, to start with an outline of what you want to cover. So actually that's where I start first, is I have an outline of what I want to cover. And it's not necessarily in any particular order. So these are the topics that I want to cover in this book. And then you would then just start writing and be like, okay, now after you're done writing, this feels like this goes under this topic here, this under here. For me, it's not, I'm going to do chapter 1 and chapter 2 and 3. I just put it all out there. I use a word processor, Microsoft Word. And then after I have a lot of content, I start piecing it underneath these outline heads, which just end up becoming the chapters. And then I just start then putting it together. So I wrote this yesterday. This looks like this goes under this topic here. That's going to be probably chapter 4. And honestly, guys, Kindle Direct Publishing is one of the easiest platforms to use. It's totally free. If you can upload a PDF file, you can become a published author. And it's you might have to have somebody format it the right way for you, but you can go into Fiverr.com and have somebody that will create a cover for you, create the format, create the chapter, make it look nice, and you upload it. And then you're on Amazon. And the beauty of that is it's print on demand. So the old model would be like where you'd have to get published and then you'd have to order 1,000 copies and then they get mailed to you and you're like, yeah, I got my book, it's here. Now I got to sell the darn thing. Hopefully people are going to want this book. Well, with Amazon, it's beautiful because you don't have to buy any. It's live. And so if Mike wants my book, he can go onto Amazon and buy it. Amazon will print that one for him. They're not stored in Amazon somewhere. When you use Kindle Direct Publishing, they're just on Amazon servers or whatever. He orders it, they print it, that one copy, and they mail that one copy to him. So it's print on demand, which means I don't have to have inventory. Right. Which is a beautiful model. And if I want to have author copies, and I do, I like to give it away to people. All the other thing, guys, is this book cost me author copies like $2. So it's like I'm handing somebody $2, but that's way more powerful than a business card. If I can say, hey, here's my book, you can actually have this. That's for me is well worth that. But anybody listening could be a published author, and Amazon is a great way to do it. So it'll be on Kindle's platform, an actual Kindle, the electronic version, but also available as a paperback book that somebody could order and have mailed to them.
That's
Stop
awesome.
sharing our secret. So
that's awesome. Now we're almost at the end of our show, but before we wrap up, we're going to go into a short break. We'll see you right back. All right, we are at the end of our show, and Mike, you want to say something? Any parting words before we end the show?
Well, before we end the show, again, thank you very much for watching. I just want to give a special shout out to those people who are actually in our the new channel. Don't forget to watch The Big Picture. That's Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Obviously, that's in the Philippine time. Of course, Mr. Jesse Rebustillo's HR hotline every Tuesday, Thursdays, and I guess that's every Saturday at 12 noon, obviously, Philippine time. And of course, us, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is actually 9:30 p.m. or a.m. in the U.S., right? And then U-Turn with Miss Carmine Ortega, Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 a.m. And of course, the Home Buyer with Dante Salamat. Dante Salamat, thank you very much. Mondays and Saturdays at 4 p.m. That's Philippine time. And of course, the one and only, last but not the least, Mr. Juan Lu, the Puppet Stories, when he has that show every Tuesday and Friday. All right, Bert.
Okay, where's Ryan? Ryan's still here? All right, there's Ryan. All right, Ryan, thanks again for joining us in this show. We appreciate your time, and thank you for all the pieces of nuggets you shared. I'm sure our audience learned a lot from tonight's topic. So we'll give you the opportunity at this time to say any parting words to our audience, any last advice for our audience.
Sure. Yeah, guys, just take action. There's so many ways to make money online. And it can be overwhelming. Just start with and I learned this from Mike's and our friend Dan Miller. With action comes clarity. So it can be overwhelming with all the different options out there. Just start moving in one of the directions that's interesting to you, and then you'll start narrowing it down and you'll figure it out. But just you got to take action.
All right.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome, guys. And
that wraps up our show for tonight. Thank you again for watching iBusiness. Come back and see us this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. We're going to have a great topic. And Mike, what's our topic this coming Thursday?
It will be how to start your own Pilates studio. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be great, But again, thank you very much for watching our show. Before I let you go, Always remember the word fast, F-A-S-T-Y. Just like what Ryan said, you got to take action fast. F-A-S-T, letter F. Find friends that will push you to your next level because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. Right now, I hang out with Bert. I hang out with Ryan. Guess what? Someday I'm going to be millionaires like them, right? So find friends that will push you to your next level. Letter A. What's the next letter? Letter A. You got to learn how to take action. That's what Ryan said. Take action, guys. Imperfect action beats perfect in action. And actually, you know, we always say this in the Philippines. Action speaks louder than words. Stop saying, guys. Stop saying. Start doing. Start doing. If you want to start your own online business, go ahead and do it. It doesn't have to be complicated. Go to ryanreger.com. Learn from him. Learn from him. What's the next letter? Letter S. Share and subscribe. Share this show. Share it to your friends because it may not be applicable to you, but it could be applicable to somebody else. Tag somebody else that will benefit from this show. Just like what Russell was doing. You know, he's said he's glad he listened to us. And last but not the least, letter T on the word fast. Letter T, not time out, but teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it, you understand it more. And that's what Bert is doing to me. He's teaching me stuff every single day. And that's what Ryan is doing to me. He's teaching me too every day. Again, thank you very much. We will see you next week. Have a good night. Thank you, Bert. We appreciate you. Thank you, Ryan. And we will see you next Thursday.
Good night.